Okay, guys. So now we're gonna pivot a little bit here. Work on start thinking about something different. Um, so in the last couple of videos, we talked about the very easy ways, simple ways to go out there and find SEO clients for your new SEO business. So we talked about friends and family. We talked about businesses you frequent. We talked about reaching out to your Facebook following, Facebook friends, and all that stuff. So those clients, you don't really have that much control over kind of who comes to you. It just kind of depends on your network and depends on what everybody's working on, etc. So what we're going to talk about now is we're going to talk about the steps, the kind of key decisions that you need to make with your SEO business, your SEO agency here, as we're going to call it. Key decisions that you need to make to kind of set yourself up for prospecting and prospecting in the right kind of way. So today, this is really one of the biggest decisions that you're going to make about this. And there's no right decision. There's no wrong decision. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. So we're going to talk about: are you going to be a local agency or are you going to be a niche agency? So let's kind of talk about what that means and what you need to do in either case. So we're kind of getting into the good stuff here. So as I said, we've gone through potential clients, business, family, friends, and now it's time to kind of get things formally started. So the first decision, again, will you go niche or are you going to go local? So a niche agency is an agency that's targeted towards working with a business in a specific industry. So you work with lawyers, you work with plastic surgeons, you work with solar panel installers, etc. Right? And there are a few advantages to running a niche agency versus a local agency. But again, they are both good options. Neither is right and neither is wrong. So the advantages of a niche agency is you can kind of become the expert in one type of field. In a year, you can become like the lawyer SEO person or the plastic surgery SEO person. And that specialization, it makes it a lot easier to sign new clients the longer you go on. The more specialized that you are, or the more specialized that you appear to your clients, the less resistance you'll have on price, better response rates you'll have during outreach, during prospecting, and also referrals too. I should have put that in there. And it's easy to prospect at a massive scale as well with a niche agency, right? You can get a list of 1,000 plastic surgeons and just start to reach out to them one by one. It's a little bit harder to do that locally, as we'll talk about here. Now, a local agency meaning is you don't necessarily work in one industry, but you work in one geographic area. For example, you work with businesses in New York City. You work with businesses in Los Angeles. You work with businesses in your hometown, wherever that happens to be. So you're doing the same work as a niche agency, right? You're still ranking websites, you're still doing SEO stuff, but the way that you prospect for clients and then the clients you work with are going to be different. So instead of just going after like lawyers, let's say, you're going after all law firms in an area, for example. So the advantage of a local agency is if you're really good at in-person networking, local chamber of commerce events are going to be gold mines for you, for new clients. Oh my God, will they be gold mines? Local agencies, especially in a local area, there are some really amazing. Referral networks are amazing. Before I got into marketing, I worked as a local journalist for a weekly newspaper in my hometown in upstate New York. Once I did a lot of business stories for this newspaper, and the network of people there, everybody was so connected. I watched one marketing guy do some work, I interviewed him for some story, and then 3 months later he was working with double the amount of clients because this one guy, he did good work and he referred him to all of his buddies, and his buddies just trusted that referral. So local agencies, the referral networks are really insane. On an SEO standpoint, you can build some really strong backlinks between your clients' sites. As we'll talk about in the ranking section, backlinks are the kind of the juice here, and as we talk about this authority, relevance, and this trust, local backlinks are really going to help. And it's really easy to earn a good reputation, as I mentioned with that referral story. And it's also really easy to earn a bad one too. So don't screw up. Your local agency will go under faster than a niche agency. I can guarantee you that. Both options are good options, guys. It doesn't really matter which one you choose. It depends on both of them are going to make you money. First off, it just depends on what your goals are for your SEO business and how comfortable you are. What you're most comfortable learning, right? There are people making 6 figures a month running both kinds of agencies out there. It doesn't matter which one you choose. It just kind of depends on your personality, depends on what you're most comfortable with. And you can also do both. This is what I do. I run a local focused agency and a niche focused one. My local one is based here in New York City, and I got one focused on chiropractors. It's possible to do both, but in the beginning, to keep yourself focused, to keep that momentum going, it's better to just start with one. So get really good at running one kind of agency before you consider running the other. And together you can really build yourself an SEO empire. But I would start with just one. All right, guys. So think about which one you want to do, local or niche, and we're going to talk more about this in the next video. Okay.